Could twin flames actually be stopping you from finding your real soulmate? Here's why this concept could be blocking your path to true love. Today's video is going to be a very important message for the collective. I can feel that coming through. And so before we dive into this, I really want to go ahead and just open up this space and set an intention for the messages that are going to come through for this video. We're going to go ahead and clear the space. I invite Archangel Michael to come in to clear out and remove any and all the vibrational thought forms, beings, and or entities. I declare this to be a sacred space. And I open myself up as a divine channel that only high vibrational divine communications and messages can come through. I set the intention that no low vibrational thought forms, beings, and or entities can enter this space or influence any messages that are coming. I set the intention that this video will find those who are seeking it and need it, and that when they come across this video, they're going to know that this is a message directly for them. They're going to get the aha that they have been needing and seeking, and they are going to feel deeply divinely supported by the divine, knowing that I am speaking a message for them. Thank you for these beautiful messages that we're about to receive. Okay, I've done a few different videos on twin flames, and I shy away from the concept. I don't like to talk about it a lot because there is so much misinformation out there. And then I get, people all riled up. Oh, you're talking nonsense or rubbish or, whatever it is. And it's challenging because my goal is to support and help. And so this concept, unfortunately, tends to attract a lot of different types of people. So I want to start by just very clearly communicating what the Twin Flame Initiative is actually about. When we incarnated here as souls, we chose to have specific situations with specific individuals who are reflections of our reality and our beliefs. Through those interactions, we decided that we wanted to have certain aspects of what needed to be healed within us reflected back. And there was a group of individuals that came through that said, I will volunteer to be one of those people. I will volunteer to be that person that will reflect back these different things for other individuals so that they can heal. This is why there are a lot of people that feel called to the twin flame concept, but are not understanding why they cannot seem to find a soulmate. Okay, they're not finding true love and they're feeling very confused. So with this concept, if you're someone where you feel like, wow, as I heal, I continue to tolerate less, right? As I'm going down my own path, I hold others more accountable for how they're showing up. As I work on my own stuff, I place more boundaries in my reality. And I find that I have people trying to push those boundaries. I have people that are saying that I'm mean or judgmental for setting a boundary. I have people telling me that when I hold them accountable, that I'm hurting their feelings. Okay, this is a reflection that we provide. We are providing this reflection to others. Through that, we are inviting them to heal. By doing our own inner work, we are inviting them to heal because we are saying no more. This is not appropriate. This is not acceptable. I will not tolerate this. I am not your emotional punching bag. I deserve to be treated better. And as we raise these expectations, we reflect back how someone is not able to meet those expectations. And this is why they get triggered. This is why they get upset. This is why they get frustrated and try to manipulate and go into wounded coping mechanisms to try to manipulate. That's really what they all are. It's just a form of manipulation to try to regain some type of control. If we think about it, it's kind of what children do, right? When someone is severely lacking emotional maturity and the ability to regulate their nervous system, they operate like children. They will behave in that way. So if we're asking for more accountability, they try to manipulate by saying, you're hurting my feelings. You're being so mean right now. Or if we're trying to set a boundary and saying, that's not appropriate, then they say something like, I can't believe how judgmental you are. Right? You're judging me. You're hurting my feelings. You're the problem, right? By setting this boundary. And so what will happen is for those that are that mirror, they will get attached to the concept thinking that because they're witnessing this mirroring happening with this other person, that equates to that person being their counterpart. It does not. It does not equate to us having a potential union in this situation. It is simply feedback that we are operating as a mirror. This is also part of the Mirror Soul initiative where this program has tried to be upgraded. And I've received lots of new information as I've been going, and I try to bring that information to you as best as I can as I move through this. So you need to tune into your own intuition and take what resonates. And if it doesn't resonate, then go ahead and stop this video and move on. It's not for you. Okay. I say this with love because this is important. This is a very, very important thing for us to understand because there are so many people out there who are meant to be impacting humanity and the collective, and they're not because they have held themselves in a situation that is highly toxic for them. And it has caused them to not be able to step into their fullest potential. Hey, Nancy here. I'm sorry to interrupt this video, but if you've made it this far through it, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. All you have to do is click down below, subscribe, and then make sure to click the little alarm bell so that you get notified every time I release amazing, helpful content like this video. Twin flames are meant to raise the collective. Twin flames are meant to have a massive impact. Can we do this through achieving sacred union with another? Yes, this is the goal, honestly. Because by us being able to enter into a space where we have been able to shed all of the conditioning around self-judgment, we're then able to recognize that the coming together of two souls is our ability to re-submerge ourselves with source energy while still being separated from it. I said this in a short a while ago. There was a message that came through where, as souls, we agreed to come to this place where we would experience suffering and heartache and frustration and hurt, all for this desire of expansion and to experience this thing called love. So many people have trouble explaining, well, what is love? Love is the ability to feel like we are still connected and submerged into source energy, even when we are disconnected from it. Most people have never experienced love, and they confuse the concept of love with attachment. And this is what happens when most of us adopt the concept of the twin flame initiative or the twin flame program, is we form trauma bonds and we form attachment, but we are not actually experiencing. When we are in a space of love, we do not feel possessive of another. We do not look for that other person to fulfill a specific role or fantasy for us. When we are experiencing love or love someone, we want to honor their journey and allow them to be who they genuinely are. This is the journey, to learn how to actually experience love. How do I fully, unconditionally accept another human being while still honoring my own sacredness? This is love. And how can I find another human being who has the same capacity to where we can co-create together and have this massively expansive experience? This is why twin flames that come into a form of sacred or divine union can be siblings. They can be parent-child. They can be friends. Because the simple goal here with the twin flame concept is to be able to find another person, or to become a magnet to another person who is also capable of unconditional love. And if we're still in self-judgment, if we're still looking to external things to make us feel validated, make us feel enough, make us feel wanted, if we're still trying to play out dynamics with partners in the hopes that this person will finally make me feel unconditionally loved and supported, that is not true love. That is attachment. That is literally using another human being to satisfy an emotional need or desire that we have not had satisfied before and are not at that moment capable of satisfying for ourselves. When we go through these connections with other people that we associate as a twin flame that we're meant to have this fairy tale relationship with, if we're able to be in a space where we are honest, I think many of us can look back and see how we were using this person to play out a specific fantasy, dream, or dynamic. So maybe as a feminine, we fell into the Cinderella syndrome, where we thought there's going to be this knight in shining armor that's going to come in and rescue me and save me from XYZ. And they're going to be perfect and they're going to be amazing and everything's going to be better once they come in. And then we wonder why we continue to attract narcissists, because they're the only ones who come in and present as if they're perfect. And then very quickly, after they have love bombed and hijacked our nervous system, they then show they're not. But at that point, we're kind of addicted to them. I did another video on that previously. If we're someone who feels that we have never been unconditionally loved or accepted or protected or advocated for, we are going to find ourselves seeking out partners that will play that role for us. I want to find that partner that will finally make me feel completely loved and supported and protected and advocated for. But I want to invite you into some self-reflection. In that effort of wanting to find that person, has there been consideration of what you want to be for them? This is how we know that we're not on the right track. This is how we're able to look at this and say, oh, that's not actually a twin flame connection. That is a wounding. That is a need to heal. And I very well may attract twin flames, people who came in that soul group that were meant to mirror, that will activate this within me. But this is the invitation. If we are looking for someone else to fulfill this role, this perfect woman will make me finally feel valid and enough. Well, what are we going to be for that perfect woman? This knight in shining armor is finally going to make me feel like I'm enough. What are we going to do for that knight in shining armor? How are we going to nurture them and nourish them? How do we want to co-create with them? And I say this with love because I used to be in that space. It was always, what can this other person do for me to make me feel better, to make up for the pain and the hurt from my childhood? There was never a thought of what can we do together? It was, there's a missing piece. And once I find that person, they will be that missing piece and it will fix everything. This is not a relationship. This is attachment. This is using someone to play out a dynamic. And the sooner we're able to step into a space of awareness of this, the sooner we're going to be able to step into a space where we can experience true love and to find a soulmate that we can co-create and grow with. There's been so many lies around what relationships are supposed to look like that as a society, we really don't know. We see these dynamics and these expectations of different roles. And we get to a certain point and a certain age, and I'm going to say probably about 35, 40, where we start to recognize and realize that these roles don't work. They don't fulfill the promise that we were sold. I see this very often with my clients. I work with women who are typically in their 40s and 50s, late 30s. And this happens as we go into that perimenopause stage. It starts around 35. Yes, it starts that early, where things start shifting and we start realizing and looking and saying, this is not what I signed up for. This is not what I was promised. And this is often in relationships. This is why the majority of divorces happen in the 40s. It's because there has been this almost like awakening that happens where we're recognizing, I was promised this dream and he was supposed to deliver and he didn't. And now what? I'm unhappy. This is not what I thought it would be. This is not what I signed up. And this is because we've been fed this fantasy. This is what relationships are supposed to be. That some other person is going to come in and they're going to fill this role. It's like wanting a doll. It's like we see this with like AI, right? A lot of people would probably be happier with a partner that is a robot because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for something to fill a void and a role and play a role for them in their reality versus finding someone that can challenge them and that they can co-create with in an expansive way. So if we are so consumed with this concept of, I have to find a twin flame, I have to find a twin flame, we are most likely in a space where we are repeating cycles, where we are finding that we're constantly looking for that next person that can fulfill this role. Maybe it'll be the next person. Maybe that next one will be perfect. Maybe that next one can just tolerate and accept my inappropriate behavior because I haven't healed my triggers. Maybe that next person will make me feel like I'm worthy of love because they will tolerate my inappropriate outbursts or behaviors or constant need for validation because I have not healed. This is the expectation that we put on others. Instead of taking things and putting it back into ourselves and say, where am I creating an environment in my own relationships where I'm not able to receive what I'm seeking? Hey, it's me again. One more thing. If you are seeking clarity and trying to find your purpose and fulfillment in this life, whether it be in starting your own business, learning how to monetize your YouTube channel, learning how to have a successful coaching business, or just in general, to find those satisfying relationships that you deeply desire, I want to invite you to snag my Define Your Purpose worksheet. This worksheet is going to help you get really, really clear on your purpose and give you that clarity that you've been seeking so that you can take those next steps towards fulfilling your potential and feeling that fulfillment that you've been seeking. It's also going to include some bonuses. You're going to get my psychic gifts activation. You're going to get a somatic practice and some other amazing resources. So make sure, click the link in the description and download your free worksheet today. I had a conversation with one of my clients this morning prior to recording this, and we were both observing how in the past we both struggle with the same witch's moon archetype. And so that one is the Dragon Archetype, and it's this abandonment. And we'll find that we will create, or we would create, these scenarios that would make us be abandoned. And the thing that we wanted the most was for someone to keep fighting for us, to fight for us. And now that we're in a healed energy and we can look back, we're seeing, why in the world would someone fight to stay in a relationship with somebody who behaved that way and who treated them the way that we treated our partners? But in the past, we both would say, gosh, I just want to find that person who will just love me unconditionally. No, what I wanted was someone who would just tolerate my unhealed behavior. And this is an invitation to really look at that and say, am I the one who is doing the inappropriate behavior, just desiring and wanting someone who will unconditionally tolerate it so that I feel like, oh, there we go, I found the perfect person? Or are we the one on the other spectrum, on the other side of that, who tries to be that person? To say, I'm going to try to completely abandon myself so that I can be what this other person needs me to be in their wounded energy. Which role are we playing in this? The twin flame program was not designed for us to find a fantasy happily ever after. The twin flame program was designed to help us heal and grow and expand. If we're stuck thinking that we just need to find that perfect person without doing the inner work to focus on us becoming that perfect person, we are going to continue to perpetuate a cycle that is going to block us from experiencing the type of love that we deeply, truly desire. That's the message. That is what I have for you. I hope that reaches whoever it needs to reach, whoever is ready to hear this message, because I know that there are a lot that are going to listen to this and get so triggered and so enraged because they don't want to hear it. And so for those, I just invite you to maybe sit with that instead of blasting in the comments. But if you need to do that, that's okay too. It just boosts my algorithm. But for everyone else, if this resonated, if this activated something within you, I really want to invite you to lean into that. Because the sooner you start saying no to those cycles and playing out those dynamics, that is the moment that you start saying yes to having that true love, soulmate relationship that you deeply, genuinely desire.